let's try and understand how this thing occurs. Let's start off trying to understand how this is. The first point, it occurs in the following manner. The tipping point occurs in the following manner. A certain incident occurs initially. Any incident. It can be any incident. One cannot point out and say that this is this incident or that incident. And the best part of it is that it need not be a dramatic incident. It need not be a dramatic incident. Any ordinary incident. I am talking to you right now. This could be the future of a tipping point. Quite possible. Any incident for that matter has got the capacity, the potential to become a tipping point. Okay? So an incident occurs. Now what happens? This incident is absorbed by and interpreted in different forms by different people. It is absorbed by some people and it is also interpreted by some people. Okay? Many things happen in this world, isn't it? Many things are happening. When we read the newspapers, I give my opinion, somebody else gives some other opinion, third person gives his opinion, so we all interpret it differently. Right? And we absorb it. We start making meaningfulness out of it differently. Don't we do that? So the incident takes place and this incident is absorbed by different people in different manner. Second stage. Third step, what happens? These different people are put into certain categories. The one we are discussing right now is narrowing down to certain types of people whom we are identified. Now these people have been given certain names. They fall in the category of connectors, mavens and salesmen. Many people are seeing the incident. Some of them, not all, are connectors, some of them are mavens and some of them are salesmen to that particular incident. What exactly do they do? We'll try to understand as we go down the line. Next comes what? These three categories of people, the connectors, the mavens and the salesmen, they create what is called as epidemic. Epidemic means something that spreads. It spreads. And this epidemic is driven by the law of few. Only few people. The point to be noted is, tipping point talks about the law of few. It is these few people with certain types of energy, certain types of behavior, certain types of personality makeups are the ones who actually create the epidemic. Not the whole nation, not the whole society. Some people. Who are these? We'll identify. What sort of behavior we'll have? We'll identify. We'll see who are these people and how do they make it happen. They communicate this phenomenon in such a manner that it impresses many people. They communicate this in their various forms. The connector communicates in his way, the maven communicates in his way, and then we have the salesman who communicates in his own fashion. Each of them communicates in such a manner. The commonality is that they impress many people. They create what we call it as a rippling effect. And they say things in such a manner that people really get taken up and impressed by them. Now this particular phenomenon is possible because of what is called as the stickiness factor, which we'll be discussing later. Stickiness factor, right? The stickiness factor creates in people a belief. Stickiness factor creates in people a belief. It is the power of context that they create that spreads like a wildfire. They create a context. They say, listen, this is important. It's contextual. And since it is relevant to the modern time, the current time, it creates a lot of meaningfulness to people. They get impressed. And what they do is they make the whole thing like a wildfire. It spreads. It spreads. That's how it becomes an epidemic. Okay? Once the wildfire spreads, a new wave of change is seen to occur and take over the old order of things. All it needs is that tipping point, that matchstick phenomenon. The moment this matchstick is ignited, the epidemic starts. What does it need? A matchstick? A matchstick needs some paper, some wood, something inflammable. Once we have that around us, then automatically it spreads, isn't it? Similarly, these three groups of people act as those inflammable agents, if we can use the term.